Good morning, everybody. Today I will share with you guys my research topic is domain name. Um, what is a domain name? Domain name is the unique web address that you type in your web browser's address bar to visit a website. For example, a domain name could be www.whatever.com. I emphasize the word unique because there are no two domain names can be the same. If someone else has registered the domain name you want, you cannot have it. With that in mind, it sometimes takes a bit of time to find a domain that isn't already in use or is available for you to use. Because you want to establish a brand of yourself, then it's beneficial to register a domain name that includes your personal name. On the internet or web, a domain is the name by which a computer is identified. It is mapped to the number called IP address. Domains can be purchased by in any combination of letters, numbers, and hyphens, and up to between 26 and 67 characters long. So, for example, here's some good domain names like webdesign.about.com, www.about.com, something like that. Branding your domain name is quite important. In fact, the best domains are your company's name. Whether you are trying to sell paper clips or web design services, your web domain name will affect your brand. As I said before, some companies have ever changed their company name to their web design or website domain name. Your current customers know your company name, so it makes much easier for them to just type in your company's name and search your company's website in the search engine. So, what are the different types of web extensions? I have a video to share with you guys, and it's quite great.
So a lot of times I get the question, what are different web extensions? What's the difference between a .net and a .com and a .us? So .com originated from .commercial. It's really about most businesses want a .com because it is the most widely recognized and used extension in the world. At this point, though, so many people have already registered domains and have locked up the ones that people want that usually going to a secondary extension is a good way to go. So those other extensions like .net, .biz, .info, .net started out as the original IT framework using .network. And really where you go from there is into .info, which was more for information sites. .gov was obviously for governmental sites. .edu was for educational institutions. .org was for organizations and trade associations. Now, when registering your own .com, your own domain name, you really want to think about what it is that you want people to know about. You're building your brand. You're building your business. So choose one that is right for you. Remember, if this is about branding, frequency, and consistency, the .com is really going to be the most widely recognized and widely used. Try not to put hyphens in it because they aren't as memorable. You're going to want to kind of get creative and maybe go down to a .net. It's easier to remember, but without that hyphen. And now, recently, they've opened up over 230 different web extensions like .academy, .book, and every other kind of extension there is out there. So get creative. If you're looking for your own name, use these other web extensions in the right format, and you'll be able to get the domain that's right for you.
So here comes another question. How long your domain name could be? It really depends on your domain name register, but in general, domain names can be anywhere from 26 to 67 characters long. But just because you can doesn't mean that you should have a domain name that is over 30 or 40 characters long. Remember, your customers need to type your domain in even if they are clicking a link, that links need to be typed by someone else. Longer domains are often harder to remember, so I recommend sticking with domain names that are no longer than 20 characters. Special characters allowed? The answer is yes. But there are not a lot of special characters allowed in the domain names. For the most part, you can use alphabetics and numeral characters as well as hyphen. Some domain register may allow other characters, but those are the most common ones allowed. Here is the article I found. It's quite interesting. It's called domain name with or without hyphens. There's a paragraph. It's quite interesting here. Word of mouth marketing. So that is when you are marketing your domain name by word of mouth. It is much easier to tell someone to go to werockyourweb.com than it is to try to get them to remember we-rock-your-web.com. So if you really want to promote your website or your company's website, that's a good way to use your domain name without hyphen. So the last question is how much it costs. Registering the domain name costs you anywhere from $1 to $25 per year, depending on what service you used for registering and what options you choose during the registration process. For example, like privacy options and search engine submission services that may cost more. But when you pay the domain registration fee today, you need to pay another registration fee when the renew date comes up again in a year or 2 or 5, whatever years you choose during your registration process. So the usual price for the .com domain name is about like $10 per year. So you can have your website today and get a domain name. Thanks for listening.